Right then, the current England manager, Gareth Southgate, is allegedly top of the list to replace Eric Ten Hag in the summer, right? I threw up in my mouth saying that. The United fan base is never aligned on anything. You can say that we play in red and people will argue with you and say it's actually blood red, and someone say it was actually more crimson. There's nothing that we agree on. But I'm pretty confident in telling you that Manchester United fans do not want Gareth Southgate as manager. I can't even say there's been mixed reactions to the news because it's just been abject horror to the news. And actually, the issue with this is that a lot of people think it could happen, myself included, because Eric Ten Hag has had a rough 12 months. Now, with further reports that are saying that United are also looking to bring in England's entire coaching staff to Old Trafford this summer, it does start to feel like it could happen. Now, in the last couple of days, there's been rumours of him going to Liverpool, and honestly, I could skip. I'm that happy with that. And I think one of the few reasons that Southgate is being linked to us is that in recent seasons, United have made the headlines for as much off-the-field stuff as on-the-field stuff. And if there's one thing Gareth Southgate might have done, it might not even be entirely his doing. It could just be the current crop of players have just naturally got this in them versus like previous crops of players. But there has been an improvement in the sort of in-house culture with England. And that's like the only reason I can even think about why you would even contemplate bringing Gareth Southgate in. When you're out hiking, working hard, you get to the top of a hill, you need a reward. And what better to reward yourself with a nice, refreshing brew? But hold on to your hats because I've got some fantastic news for you. And that's our mates at Beer 52 are going to give you a free case of 8 sensational beers that you will not find at your local. Get yourself over to beer52.com/Howson. Bang them over $6.95 for the postage, and you're going to have 8 unique beers delivered straight to your doorstep. Beer 52 is the cream of the crop when it comes to beer clubs in the UK, and they're showcasing the finest independent breweries from Manchester and beyond. This month, they've joined forces with craft beer legends Northern Monk and a slew of other top-notch breweries to craft 8 brand spanking new and exclusive beers. Northern Monk's collab with the acclaimed Rivington Brewery is a sight to behold. A bold IPA clocking in at a whopping 7% gives you a velvety texture and a hot profile that'll leave your taste buds dancing a jig. Not a fan of the dark beers? Then don't worry, mate. Just opt for the light case, and don't forget you'll score a couple of tasty snacks to munch on as well. And there is more. Dive into the world of beers and breweries with the fantastic award-winning Ferment magazine. And listen, if by some miracle you're still not happy, you can put things on hold or cancel at any time. Get over to beer52.com/Howson and snag your free case of beer right now. That's beer52.com/Howson. Cheers. Let's do something quite sickening and imagine for a second he was to be appointed at United. That would be his first stint in club football in 15 years, where he managed Middlesbrough to relegation between 2006-2007. On paper, it doesn't look great for him. Now, as the table shows, his record in the North East declined as seasons went by, didn't improve, didn't progress, and the 2008-9 campaign resulted in relegation from the Premier League, which is the only thing he's actually gone on and achieved more than once in his career, where he has somehow managed to get England relegated. And even the resume that he's got for England is not great. He was beaten in the 2018 World Cup, and this was the route to get there. He beat Tunisia, who are ranked 23rd, so that's like, if you're putting it in Premier League terms, beating a championship side. He beat Panama, who are 55th, which is like beating a League One side. And then he beat Sweden, who are ranked 24th, and then he lost. Even in Euro 2020, people presumed beating the likes of Germany and Croatia were big wins. But at the time, Croatia were not ranked in the top 10. They were 11th. They beat the Czech Republic, who were ranked 42nd. Germany were ranked 13th. Germany at the time had beaten essentially Liechtenstein that year, and that is it. Germany was going through a horrendous period. It's a big name, but they weren't a good team. Beat Ukraine, who were ranked 24th. And then they beat Denmark, who were ranked 12th. And then lost. Okay. Lost in the final. But there was a final you was winning. At the World Cup 2022, they beat Iran, 24th, Wales, 28th, Senegal, 19th. And then they drew with Colombia, Scotland, USA. In the World Cup, they lost to Belgium twice. At the time, Croatia was ranked 20th, lost to them. When they lost in Euro 2020, they was losing to Italy, ranked 10th at the time. In the World Cup, you lost to France. France is the only one you go, fair enough. His win rate against the top 10 ranked teams is awful. And this is despite England having probably a top 3 squad in the world throughout the majority of his tenure as England manager. England under Southgate have consistently been found wanting against top opposition, where the talent disparity between England and the opposition lessen and tactics really become important. And that's where Southgate falls short. You cannot now tell me one time he's won a game he was meant to lose or draw. You cannot tell me one instance of this man winning a game that he should have lost based on his tactics. Not one. And I can pull up not many examples for Ten Hag, and that was a criticism I've had of him. Not many, but I've got them. And actually Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had that in spades. Gareth Southgate is not the right candidate for United. I'm not even going to say arguably, because he is simply not the right candidate for United in any way. Stylistic fit? No. Heritage? No. Playing style? What is his playing style? I look at England at the moment and I see a team stuck in limbo between having fantastic counter-attacking talent and having fantastic tick-a-tacker sort of very possession-based talent. And then he picks a team that zigzags between the two. He will not commit to anything. He doesn't have the bollocks to commit to anything. And he is very close to making the same mistakes that was made in the 2000s, where they tried to shoehorn Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes into the same team because on paper they were the best players. Grow a pair of bollocks and pick the team that's going to win the game. Pick the team that can carry out your instructions and play the style of football that you want to play. That's what a good manager does. A good manager gets results. Doesn't try and be friends with everyone and doesn't try and just whatever. Solskjaer was accused of being all vibes. Solskjaer had more 5-goal-plus victories than all of the rest of the managers post Alex Ferguson combined. He went on ridiculous winning runs. He won time and time again in games where Manchester United were not meant to win and actually came back from being down and winning games. Not once has Southgate shown that. And this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, by the way, was a manager that has actually won something at domestic level. And you can say it was a Norwegian league. Doesn't matter. He's demonstrated he can actually get things over the line and fucking win things. What has Gareth Southgate done? Oh, he's the best manager. No. He's not. Even in 2002, look at who England lost to. That was a great England side, and it lost to a fucking phenomenal Brazil side. Not the Brazil side that England have just lost to with a load of fucking no marks. Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo. Remember them? They were pretty fucking good. This Brazilian side doesn't even have the fucking right to wear the same colour as them. International football is struggling at the moment. And despite the fact that he's been offered, last year's World Cup's different, right? That you're not beating France. France is a sensational side. But a good manager could have, because there was times in that game when he had the opportunity to go for something. It was crying out for some direct play. And actually, the form Marcus Rashford was in, he was England's best player going into that game, and he puts him on the fucking bench. And do you know what? If he'd have won, you hold your hands up and you say, wow, he did something that we didn't expect there. But then you bring him on with 6 minutes to go. When for 25 minutes prior to that, it was begging for it. It was asking to be taken. And France, even though they're such a good team, were not playing well and could have been beaten. Now then you're facing Messi and Argentina in the final, and maybe the stars on the line and you weren't going to win it anyway. But you can't tell me that Italian team that even failed to qualify for that World Cup was so much more difficult to beat at home. The privilege you had to play at fucking Wembley. You're 1-0 up within 4 minutes. You haven't got the bollocks to put a tactical performance in to see you over the line. Not my manager, never. Ever. If United want to win titles again, you shred his CV. You go with someone that actually has a defined style of play that they want to be able to go and get to grips with. Not this fucking wishy-washy bullshit that Gareth Southgate serves up. His defensive principles are... I don't even know if they're fucking great, in all honesty. It's probably the only thing that stands out in any way, shape or form. And I'm going to be honest with you, it seems to consist of just sticking two midfielders in front of the defence. And United, despite the fact that we've been so open this season, are actually one of the best defensive records in the league. Doesn't feel quite like that. We struggle when opposition drive forward at us. The opposition averages 23.1 progressive passes per 90 against United. 16 carries into the final third and 6.46 carries into the penalty area per United. This is not good enough. These are not stats and numbers, let alone the amount of shots that we allow, which is quite frankly ridiculous. It demonstrates how vulnerable United are when the opposition get going and get into those advanced areas of the pitch, especially with each of those being a very unwanted sort of statistic within the top 5 in the league. And defensive first isn't a bad idea at times, but give me someone with a bit of fucking charisma. It wasn't good enough for the serial winner Jose Mourinho, so why would it be good enough for the serial don't win fuck all in Gareth Southgate? The one thing you might bring is maybe that everyone likes each other a little bit, and maybe there's a little bit less of a gap in midfield. Right. Do better. Demand more. Because I'll tell you this for free. Teddy Sheringham, Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, and probably more than we'll ever know about, fucking hated each other. But guess what? They won the fucking lot. The lot. You don't need to like each other. You don't need a warm, fuzzy fucking atmosphere. You need winners, and you need people who know how to get over the fucking line. And Gareth Southgate knows neither of those songs. I hope he goes to Liverpool, and I hope he has a long and fucking boring career at Liverpool because everyone's too afraid to sack him. I do not want to see him at Old Trafford unless he's got a fucking Liverpool tracksuit on and he comes as their manager, because I could not think of anyone worse for United to appoint. Genuinely. I think I'd rather have David Moyes back. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.